there, I'm Beth.
I'm Meg.
And we are the Two Wine Women.
Welcome to our channel today. We love wine, as we've said in every single video we've ever done, but in order to get to the wine, we have some gadgets that we have to navigate or get to navigate, well, whichever way you want to look at it. So today we're going to be talking about those wine gadgets.
Lots of gadgets.
Yep, that we use. You probably have some of your own, and if you don't, you should go out and get some because they're they make the wine experience even more fun than it is normally. First, we are going to be talking about opening the wine. And the first step in opening a bottle of wine is using a foil cutter. Now this foil cutter came with a bottle opener, a wine bottle opener, which we'll talk about later. But a lot of times they're just sold separately and they look like kind of a loop, and you basically just put it over the top of the wine, turn it once, and the foil comes off, and that gives you a nice smooth surface to pour the wine. The ones you have there.
We've got some different openers. I'm sure you, like Meg said, you've got some in your doors at home. This one's called the waiter's corkscrew, such because the waiters, this is what typically the waiters use in the restaurants to open them. They are small, they fit in the waiter's pocket so they can quickly pull them out. The wine cutter is, or the foil cutter is already there, so they don't have to have a separate device to open or to cut the foil. And they can quickly cut the foil with one little turn, put that away, insert the screw into the cork and lift the cork out really easily with only two hands. They don't have to set the bottle down or anything, and you can do it with just at the side of your table. This is my favorite corkscrew. It's also called a pocket corkscrew. I call it the car corkscrew because when you're going through Napa Valley and you happen to get one of your favorite bottle of wines and you cannot wait to taste it till later, it's probably in your glove box. And you just insert the handle into the handy little hole, and voila, you've got a handy corkscrew. My favorite corkscrew. This, however, is a very special. This is called the two-prong cork pull. And it is such because it is made up of two prongs, two metal prongs that are very thin. This is can be a little daunting for some folks because it's a little difficult to use. Most people use these, if you're a wine connoisseur, it's because you have a bit of a cellar maybe downstairs that have some vintage wines where the corks are very fragile. And so you want to use this because this type of corkscrew does not damage the cork. It is also called the Butler's Friend because in the old days when the butler was in charge of opening the wine for his master or whoever, his employer, they would use these corkscrews. They go down to the basement, and because you can not damage the cork, not put the hole in the cork while you're opening, they would open the wine with this, take a few little sips, put it back or top it off with whatever they had in their basement and put the cork back in, unbeknownst to the owner of the wine. So this is also called the butler's friend, also referred to as the asso. Lots of stories about how it got the name asso. Don't really care, but for me it's the two-prong cork pull. And I'm going to demonstrate the cork pull to you now. I'm going to open a very old bottle of wine right now.
There's a story behind this wine. It's a great story too. And if you are fans of the TV show on ABC called The Bachelor, this is Firestone Vineyards, and Andrew Firestone was the third bachelor.
I thought he was the first.
No. He was the third season in 2003, and he ended up being engaged to Jen Sheft. They dated for probably a year or so. She actually went out to California, worked at the winery and everything, but they ultimately broke up. Both are now married to two different people. But during that time of Bachelor fandom, and we were both huge fans of,
he's so hot.
of Andrew Firestone. I was living in DC, Beth was still living in Denver, and she went and stood in line at the local wine store because he was doing appearances after the end of The Bachelor, signing wine bottles. So this wine is a 2000 vintage Merlot from the Santa Ynez Valley. It's from Firestone Vineyards, which is in Santa Barbara County. It's If you see the movie Sideways, it's basically that area where Sideways was filmed, right near Solvang. The name of the town is Los Olivos. Yeah, Los Olivos. I can't pronounce those things. Yeah. So anyway, Beth stood in line at the wine store, met Andrew Pearson, met him, touched him, and she got this wine bottle signed for me in 2003. Now, our research has shown that this bottle of wine should have been drunk from 2003 through 2006, and I just couldn't do it. I wanted it as my souvenir. It was a very prized possession, and we finally decided that today was the day that we're gonna taste this wine, and we're both expecting it to turn.
It might have turned.
But,
and since it is 10 years overdue, its prime, we're going to be using the 2-prong cork pull, just in case the cork is a little iffy. So I'm going to demonstrate how to use the 2-prong cork pull.
And I'm gonna drink while you do it, because it'll make me nervous.
Okay, I will. So typically, or always, when you get a 2-prong cork pull, one of the prongs is longer than the other. You're gonna take the longer end of the longer end and put it into, insert it between the cork and the glass of the bottle. Just maybe a ½ inch, if that. Just to the point where the shorter end is just touching the glass. Then you take your thumb and just kind of stick the shorter end in there. And so they're both in there, okay? This is the tricky part, because if the cork is too fragile, you might push the cork into the bottle, which is disaster. But hopefully I think this cork can hold up to the pressure that I'm going to put on it now. You just gently wiggle it down, go back and forth like a little wiggle, 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 as we say in the wiggles, wiggle, 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 and it's kind of pushing down right now, but so you just got to be a little gentle as you push it down until it's all the way, the top is all the way in, and then you gently twist.
Oh, God, you're awesome. I am awesome. Maybe it isn't bad.
And then once it gets about 3/4 of the way out, you just kind of with your fingers pinch the prongs and just kind of wiggle it out.
Very good.
Oh, I don't know, Meg. This might be okay.
Let me get some glasses.
Oh! Andrew, we're drinking your wine. The 2000 Firestone Vineyard Merlot.
Santa Ynez Valley.
Santa Ynez Valley. Oh my gosh. Well, it's a little, the color's a little off.
A little rusty.
A little rusty looking. But it sure smelled good. The cork smelled fine, so I'm okay with that.
It smells a little off, but not you can still smell a nice bouquet.
I think it tastes marvelous. Maybe you need to age it 15 years.
It tastes great.
It's delicious.
Yeah. Wow. While we drink this wine, let's talk about the other gadgets that we have. One of them is a wine pourer. Do you want to talk about this disc thing?
This is a disc.
Because
so
it's from the Westchester Wine School.
So I took a little wine course when I lived in Westchester, New York, at the Westchester Wine School, and so I would recommend it actually to anyone who's halfway interested in wine. But this little sucker is amazing, especially if you're pouring wine for other people.
You should pour yourself some more wine.
I just might do that. What it does is it just prevents you. It provides for a really precise pour, which prevents you from spilling wine on the table or having the wine drip down the side of the glass or down the bottle. So this is how you do it. You roll it up to like a cigar or something else. But on this one, you don't need to lick it.
In Colorado.
Yeah, maybe in Colorado. We might do this a little bit. You don't need to twist the ends. And you roll it up like a little cigar, and you stick it in the wine bottle. When you let go, it just expands to the sides of the bottle. And see how it creates like a little lip at the top. You can very precisely pour wine and lift it, and it will not drip onto the table or onto the side of the bottle.
Thank you, Betty.
This is both a stopper and a pourer. So I'll get rid of our little gadget here. This little guy, I forget the name of the company. Let me just check real quick. It's called a Haley's Corker. Right. You can find it at winecorker.org, and it's the coolest little thing I've ever seen. Not that a bottle of wine ever lasts in our house once it's open, but if you like to open a bottle of wine and have it for a couple of days, after. It's a great little gadget. So it doubles, actually, it's 6 tuples as a stopper. So you stick it in there, as an aerator, because it has a screen and it has the nozzle in there, which helps aerate the wine. And then when you're done pouring, you can stop it and save it for the next day, which, like I said, never happens in our house. But what I like the feature of, it also is a nice pourer. Yeah. So like the wine disc, it prevents the dripping. So see?
Next is the Cork Block. My friend Jody gave this to me for my birthday. It's just a simple
stopper.
Decorative more than anything, because it doesn't, I mean, it actually did come with a little more rubber on this, but really it's just decorative. It's something to have on the top of your wine bottles for parties and stuff like that, which I always love. I love going to people's parties when they have, you know, like at Christmas time when they have little Christmas themed toppers and things like that.
Thanks, Jody.
Yeah, thanks, Jody. This one is very similar to the six-purpose one. Yeah. This is called the Wine Savor, S-A-V-O-R. Mm-hmm. And basically what it does is it, in theory, removes the oxygen from the wine to make it last longer. And what you do is just pump it until you can't pump it anymore. And then you put it away and save it for the next day.
Or in my case, you save it for the next 20 minutes and you pull that sucker out.
Right.
In theory, it works pretty well from what I've seen. If you're not going to keep your wine more than a couple of days, this works great. If you're going to keep it for like 2 weeks, yeah. Okay, so after the wine,
so you're done with the wine.
You're done with it, like I am in 20 minutes. You got an empty wine bottle, and Bob donated this to our show today.
It was very nice. Pomerol.
Okay, 2 fun things you can do with empty wine bottles. My mother gave me this. She bought this when she went through wine country last summer. It's a candle lamp. It's like an oil lamp wine candle. So you can make use of your old wine bottles. You fill the wine bottle with lamp oil, and then this little guy soaks up the oil, and you just put it in your wine bottle, and then you can light it. So you can remember the wonderful times that you had drinking this beautiful bottle of wine on your table. And these are super cheap. I got this little gadget at a farmer's market, and I think it's the coolest thing since sliced bread. So this is a Hummingbird Feeder, and you can take one of your wonderful bottles of wine. I use it in a Dom Perignon bottle that I drank with my husband when we closed on our house. And I've kept the bottle for years and years and years. I found this at a farmer's market. You can find them online. I don't know the name of this one, but they're all over online. So basically you assemble it. You have to put the little flowers and everything in there. You fill it up with your hummingbird food. You stick it in there, into the wine bottle, and then it hangs upside down. It comes with a little hook that you insert into the bottom of the bottle, and you can hang it from your patio or porch or whatever, and then the little hummingbirds come and drink out of it, and it's really fun to see that they're drinking out of a $200 bottle of wine.
They deserve it.
They do.
And then finally, we want to talk about decanting wine. So I know it's kind of out of order, but that's okay.
Out of order.
Decanting a bottle of wine really serves just 2 main purposes. One is to remove any sediment that might be in the wine, and typically white wines have no sediment.
And no need for decanting either.
Yeah. Red wines that are maybe older and really, really good, you will probably want to, the contents break down after a while and they sort of go out of the solution being the wine. So you want to decant them just so that the sediment falls to the bottom. And here is one kind of decanter. It basically has this little thing on the bottom so that the wine kind of splashes over to the sides and, in theory, puts more air into the wine, which is the second reason you would decant a wine. Just to fill it with some air, bring out the flavors and the aromas of that particular wine. It's controversial whether you need to decant for every wine or for some wines, or even decanting at all. Some people believe that just by putting it in a wine glass you get enough aeration, but you know, just try it sometimes. It's fun. It makes the whole wine experience, again, fun and something to actually experience. You know, where if you go to a fine dining restaurant, they will decant your wine if you have a nice bottle of wine. So I'm going to go ahead and do it with this Windward Pinot, which actually is from the same area as the Firestone.
It is.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Yes, Paso Robles area.
Yeah, this is a Paso Robles Pinot Noir. Really interesting Pinot in that area of California. Yes. Really, really bold, I think, wines. Not super delicate like you would expect, I don't think.
And doesn't taste like many Pinots I've ever had.
Foil cutter.
Foil cutter. We used your, okay. So
so here's the opener that came with the foil cutter. To me, this is so easy because I'm not very coordinated when it comes to the waiter's friend or the butler's friend, whatever that is. You just twist it until you feel like you can't twist anymore, and voila, the cork is inside the corkscrew. And some people just pour it really fast to kind of make sure the air gets into the wine faster. Other people just pour it so you don't get a lot of splashing like I'm doing right now. But
you want to, towards the end, if you are drinking a wine or decanting a wine that you expect or that might have a lot of sediment in it, towards the end you want to go slower so that none of the sediment drops in.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so then you'll see it kind of on the side of the glass. You'll notice the color of this Pinot is very interesting. It's, wow, look at that Pinot.
I know, it looks like plum colored.
It's a very plum, yeah, it's nice. All right, so this we're actually going to enjoy for dinner tonight. That's why we have it. Meg has made some enchiladas for us, and we feel like a Pinot would really go nicely with the enchiladas. So this will be sitting out for a couple of hours before we're ready to eat.
Yep. But in the meantime, we're going to enjoy our Andrew Firestone wine.
Cheers.
So when it comes to gadgets, find some that look like fun to you, or if you want something elegant, go for something elegant. Just, you know, they're not expensive. You can buy a lot of them and have a different wine experience every time. But enjoy.
Enjoy.
Always.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Here's to wine.